We should be good now. Yeah, I think I saw that on Will Lee's, the referee.
Yeah.
Yikes.
That's funny though.
But yeah. So they Celtics blowing out the Knicks. Yeah, so they took me off of Facebook, man. Because what I said with Lamar and BMF. He's a crazy guy, though, man.
What does it prove to take a poor man off of Facebook?
I don't know, for 24 hours.
Yeah.
That's
did you learn your lesson?
No.
Are you a better man now?
I am not. I still want to post stuff about Lamar and BMF.
Yeah.
But my point to that is, make sure you share the Facebook, since I'm not. I can't get on there.
I am sharing it now, effectively.
That's awesome. I can't make a post. I can't react to any.
Dude, it has crossed my mind when I've gotten a warning, like, it would be really horrible to do this like the day of the show. So way to lead by example.
Exactly.
Being that I'm here right now, I'ma go and get it right now, get committed right now. I'ma do some shit that's gonna uplift a bunch of people's spirit right now, help them heal it right now. I'ma get them riches right now. Work plan, manifest, be speak that shit into existence right now. Can't slow down, got the vision wrote down, cause I seen it, man, I'm on right now. Focus in the motherfuckers where I'm in the zone right now. Ain't no later, dog, it's only right now. And it's only right now.
It creates.
Right now. No past, no future right now. All I got is right now. No past, no future right now. All I got is right now. Fuck what they did to me, gon' do, cause all I get is right now. Fuck what they did to me, gon' do, cause all I get is right now. So I focus on that when I can focus on now. Pull up at a beach on the outskirts of town. Enjoy the view and give thanks to the truth. And I go hit the yo just to shut that bitch down. And I'm high right now. So alive right now. Clear skies right now. Living my life by my own rules. I feel what I choose. I walk straight and narrow, but it's just straight arrow.
Yonder music.
Do it now. It's gonna take some work, okay? And I'm right back at it. Divine alignment, fully automatic. I don't think about it. I just watch it happen. I just move toward it and I get supported. When I try to force it, it just get distorted. So I dance with it. Crystals all in my pants with it. Healing all in my hands with it. I'm an alchemist. I'm a master. I'm a rabbi. I'm a sensei. I'm a bad guy. I'm an alien. I'm an animal. I'm a cannibal. I'm so handsome, no. Yo. And I'm high right now. Can barely open my eyes right now. And that money we making it. Climbing these ladders and laying foundation, that's masonry. This shit is different, cause my dreams are literally chasing me. Grateful for where life is taking me. I'm living life, that's to say the least. Only true beauty can tame the beast. Only true love can tame that beast. Are you here with me right now? Right now. Vibe with me. Vibe with me right now. Right now, yeah.
Alrighty.
I like how we scrambled to get our headphones on there.
Yeah, man. That was close. You guys are back. Welcome back on the Bench podcast with Bubba and Pink. Feels like we've been off for a while. I don't
Really?
Yeah. I'm already rusty. I'm uploading to the wrong YouTube pages and
Yeah, you are
and
rusty.
yeah, man. But it feels like we've been off for several weeks.
I feel like we're on the grind, man.
Don't forget, On the Bench podcast is available on all podcast streaming platforms, including here on YouTube. Please like, share, subscribe, all of that great stuff.
Can we say 2 weeks in a row with some good booties on the promo?
You try. That's how you get the people in.
Pull them in.
It's
like Godfather 3. Just when I get out, they pull me back in.
But today we're actually talking about booty, so that's awesome. Once again, On the Bench
awesome.
podcast, sports, music, and mayhem. We talk a lot about what guys would talk about on the benches, in the locker rooms, things like that. And sometimes that involves big booties. Sometimes that involves sports like Tom Brady retiring. Sometimes that involves new movies like Bad Boys 4 and Lotto selling panties online. Like, guys want to talk about it. You can buy that? Man, I don't buy stuff like that. I've already bought 2. I've already bought 7. So guys talk about this type of stuff. If you didn't know, I don't know if I'm breaking news to you. But that's what we talk about. We talk about stuff like that. So we're going to get into all of that on today's show.
I'm not buying any panties. Just not, man. It's just, I don't get it.
Well, V-Day is coming up, so.
V-Day.
Matter of fact, let's go ahead and get this out of the way. Our first sponsor, overkink.com. You can buy panties there and a lot more.
We're off and running.
Yeah. If you use promo code BubbaPink, you can get those panties or sex toys or condoms or lingerie or whatever you're into. You can get that at a discounted price if you use promo code BubbaPink.
We're off like the panties should be.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you know what I figured we'll start off with, when we came back, of course we were on the radio, 91.5 WPRK, and when we moved to this platform here, we started out kind of detailing where I was at in my dating, where I'm, and it's been a while since
it's been a long time.
Circle back to that, but we started out.
I thought you got married.
I was telling the dating stories, where I was dating at, the websites I was using, the random encounters with old ladies at events and things like that. I was detailing those in stories and certain clips and things like that. So it's been a while since Bubbas Dating
tapped in.
Yeah. So I'll tell you where I'm at here, and I kind of need your help, Pink, because
and I'm willing. Hold on, depends what it entails. Let's not get carried away.
Yeah. I want to hear before you jump in.
Hold up.
No. But what so this is where I'm at now in my dating thing. So I am trying to draw out the advantages and the disadvantages of getting into a serious relationship, because we've talked about the advantages of like getting married, right?
There are some? What are we talking about?
We talked about that on one show, and I understand there's going to be some similarities, but the difference is, I think back in the day, there's a couple of things there. I think back in the day, there was a stigma of being single and lonely, and you don't want to die alone, and things like that. But I think nowadays, that's just, it's not as accurate or prevalent anymore. They have dating sites for everything. They have dating sites for old single folks, for old single gay folks, for like literally any genre or lane that you're in, any type of love that you're seeking, they have a dating site for. They have old folks home where everybody's just screwing each other.
It's called the Villages.
Yeah,
it's right up the road.
So it's I don't think that's a stigma to be afraid of anymore. One, two, to be in a unique situation to where, okay, you have a single guy with no kids. I'm not saved as anyone's screensaver or anything, but I'm not tough to look at, so, yeah, I have that. I have to be careful when I talk money, because my sisters might be watching. I'm still broke, but a guy who's not,
not as broke as you once were.
Yeah, not as broke as I once were. So when you mix all of those things together, and your own car, own place, and et cetera, et cetera. What are the advantages? Because if a single guy doesn't have a car, doesn't have a place, it can behoove him to get into it. That helps him if he gets into a relationship with a woman,
to find
with
a woman that wants to provide a car.
That happens. That's not, it happens.
Not to me.
But
I guess it does.
Yeah. So I want to list out the advantages and disadvantages of me getting into a serious relationship and see what wins.
Well, first I want to tackle the you don't want to die alone thing.
Okay.
That whole notion really bothers me.
Right.
you're gonna die alone. Like you are. Yeah. Like unless you have a mutual suicide pact, like you're gonna die alone. You're gonna fall ill and pass away. You're gonna get in an accident and die. You're gonna, drown. You're gonna just die, and it's gonna be alone unless you literally like die with somebody.
Yeah.
And then the other side of that is like, okay, if you have this partner in your life, like if you're the person who gets like sick and has like a slow cancer death, like then you're kind of dragging somebody along this miserable road, and then you eventually die, and then they've given the last 6, 12, 18 months of their life watching you die. Like, what is that all about?
Yeah.
I just don't get that. And I just don't understand it. And like, there's a thing with like really like old long couples. Like a lot of times, like the one partner dies, and then shortly thereafter, the other passes away. They kind of lose their will to live.
No, that's true.
And I don't want to be responsible for that. I'm comfortable dying alone.
Right.
It's better. I think if you're terminally ill, you should kind of wander off into the forest and just go out that way.
That way you're not bothering anyone?
Yeah, you're not bothering anybody. Because think about it. Okay, let's say you're in some sort of long-term relationship or marriage or something like that. You die at the house, like in the bed where you fucked once. Right? Or maybe more than once. But like, do you think your partner's going to be like, hey, I'm going to get a good night's sleep tonight?
Right.
Like, no, they're going to want to get a new bed, maybe fucking repaint the house, maybe move.
Yeah.
It's a lot of nonsense, man.
It is.
It's okay to die alone. That's an antiquated notion. Yeah, I guess like you're in like old times, like where you'd like be in some house like 5 miles from the next house. Logistically, it's not bad for somebody to be aware that you're dead. But we're past that, man.
We are.
If you're not texting back, you're probably dead. But okay, on to the benefit. Okay, so as you portrayed it, you're a professional guy.
Right.
You're not hard on the eye.
Right.
You make enough money to afford a place in a car, maybe some disposable income.
Right.
And like, all right, so what did you come up with on the plus side?
Okay, here we go. On the plus side of getting into a serious relationship.
Yes.
Okay. So you do have the family is a interesting plus, because of course you can still have a family as a single guy, a single parent. But to the point of a 2-parent household, to create that, the possibility to create that, that's an advantage, I think, of getting into a serious relationship. All right. 2, you have, you are spending, theoretically, you're spending less money. Because dating, you do tend to spend a lot more money when you're dating. That's just the reality of things. You're taking several women out on dates. You have to, if you like a couple of them seriously, that's 2 to 3 birthdays. That's 2 to 3 Valentines. That's 2 to 3. You know what I mean? So
Valentine's Day's coming up fast.
Things can pile up on you.
Yeah. I do want to mention a funny story. So
okay.
like when I was younger, my kids were very small. I was paying daycare for 3 kids, and at the time it felt like a ton of money. And I was talking to one of my coworkers at the time, and I'm like, man, I'm paying X amount of dollars a week, for daycare. This is brutal. And he kind of, what are you paying? And I tell him the number, and he goes, yeah, don't worry about it. That's what I'm paying going out on the weekends. So, it did put it in a new perspective for me. It's just like,
no, seriously,
he's like, yeah, man, if I go out Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and do something on Sunday, I've spent that.
For real, man. And after that, I kind of reach for things.
Let's see where the reach goes.
It
might be a reach around for you.
it's their soft advantages, like I guess the theory of you can theoretically have safe sex with just one person, and you're not exposing yourself to different
possible
diseases and all of that.
But what if your wife is smashing other dudes on the side?
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm reaching. Because, you just don't know.
Ooh, might have pulled a hamstring there.
That's a soft advantage.
And I'm not sure when you say like the dating thing versus like the cost of it. Like, I don't know. That's probably that's probably about a wash. Or maybe not. I don't know.
No, it's not. It's not a wash because we're only talking about a relationship, right? So
yeah,
regardless of, there's not a lot of financial obligations in a relationship. You know,
yeah, that's
that comes in a marriage, but in a relationship, it's not so much. You know, like she's buying a lot of her own shit in a relationship. You know, I'm the gift guy, the holiday guy, and the going out guy.
And you could always do the strategic breakup.
Yeah. Always.
You could just stop whenever you want to. You just go dark and nobody hears from you. You're not spending any money.
Exactly.
That's wonderful.
Exactly. Now, can you brainstorm any other advantages I may have missed?
The only advantage, the only purpose for it, is if you want to create a 2-parent household for a kid.
That's the only thing advantage. You can think of.
That's it.
Yeah.
There's no other advantage. There's not. You exist in a situation of constant turmoil and compromise. Most people in marriages are unhappy when you talk to them. They're not thrilled. Maybe at certain little phases, maybe at the beginning, and those sort of things, but it's other than that, it's it's generally not, there's just not a lot of advantage there. I think it's an antiquated notion that is just kind of historically been passed forward, and that people think it's something they need to do, and in a lot of ways it's not.
Well, we got our first comment here. Chuck says he's been single for a year. He's definitely ready to settle down, entertaining multiple women, dates, etc. Take me out the game, coach. That's I guess that is a thing. Yeah, it can become difficult when you're talking to multiple women, keeping up with them. Like I said, you got multiple birthdays, holidays, things like that. All of the different dates you have to take them out on.
But I circle back to when you did the poll of women that you talked to and said you put it out there. What is the benefit of me, Bubba, marrying you? And not one of them, 7-8 responders, genuinely said anything that benefited you.
Right.
And and to me, to my experience, that's typical.
Yeah.
Generally marriage serves the woman and not the man.
Mm-hmm.
And there's not a whole lot of advantage for you. And so why would we put ourselves in that? It does not make sense to me.
Yeah, and that's what I'm battling, because and let me list a
battle no more.
Let me list a couple of disadvantages.
There are a multitude.
One of them is
one of them is legal financial obligation.
Well, we're not talking marriage. Remember, just a relationship, serious relationship.
Well, then maybe we need to revisit what we were talking about then.
What's that?
Well, okay, so when you're saying what are we defining as a serious relationship?
So that is the next step from dating, right? So from dating to serious relationship, that means exclusive. You're only having, supposedly
exclusive
only having sex
intimacy with this person.
Yes.
Are you living in the same place?
Could be. Yeah.
But that's not necessarily required.
That's on a short list of to do.
But not 100%. You don't necessarily have to.
Right. It doesn't necessarily have
but
to.
you can share a living space.
Yes.
You're presumably intimate exclusively with each other.
Yes.
Beyond that, what is there? What is a serious relationship?
Yeah. That's another thing.
If you simply declare that I'm going to be sexually monogamous with you.
Yeah, that's really the only differentiating factor.
Right.
That's really.
It kind of goes to the thing kind of what I've kind of defined what is a date.
Yeah.
And for me, a date is a meeting of people of the opposite sex. Well, if you're gay or lesbian, it could be the same sex, but where the possibility of sex is on the table.
Mm-hmm.
If you're literally just going with somebody that's a friend or a coworker, and you're just simply having lunch, that's not a date.
Right.
But if you're going to to eat with somebody or going to do something with somebody that possible sexual interaction is in play, that becomes a date. Now, I almost think you define a relationship by saying that a relationship is defined by mutual agreement to share intimacy only with each other.
Yeah.
Other than that, like, because everything else is variable. We may live together, we may not. We may have intermingled finances, we may not. Really, that's it.
Yeah, really, that is it.
Because you spend time together, presumably, and you do activities together. But
you do that when you're dating.
You and I do activities together,
yeah,
and
so
God forbid there's no sexual activity.
But that is that. Like you said, everything else is a variable. But I don't know how that plays into my decision. But if you think about this,
if that's the core of what a serious relationship is, you are foregoing your opportunity to bang other women.
That's what it comes down to.
With the extended trust that the other person this is going to do the same.
Yeah.
And that's it.
That's pretty much it.
And what is it,
And that's what it boils
So
down
basically, you're giving up your ability to bang other people for a trust that the other person's going to do the same, which you can't really guarantee. So at that point, there's nothing there.
It's not. I'm trying to grasp for something, but I really can't. I can't think of anything. The problem is also, it's
because I think like what we talk, like what we're not saying in this, and it definitely goes into like a marriage dynamic. But I think the thing is when you if you more broadly refer to a serious relationship, you're almost talking about a pseudo marriage. And what kind of comes with that is that the two people are not just agreeing to having sexual exclusivity with each other, they're also sort of agreeing to accept sort of certain roles and involvement in each other's lives.
Right.
And it's like, you're the person I'm going to keep communicating with throughout my day, or I'm, every weekend or whatever. There's an expectation that we're going to do something together, and we're going to share these experiences together. And I think that's part of it. But do you really want to share those experiences?
Yeah, that's true. Carver says coffee is a date. Pink is the new wave. What? I do hear that a lot. Coffee, but
coffee without the possibility of sex, that's not a date.
It's just coffee.
I mean, you can do anything. Like
anything.
You could sit in the 7-Eleven parking lot with Slurpees. You could go to Ruth Chris Steakhouse. You could go to the Bahamas together, and it all is defined by, is there the possibility of sex between these two people?
Yeah.
If there is, then it's a date. If that's completely off the table, it's not a date.
Yeah. But so
if it's completely off the table, it's simply a waste of time.
If it all comes down to the sex thing, women are they're so like they have to have that title, that relationship, that they have to have that, and so they drill it. And I'm not gonna say most men, because you see Chuck says he's been single for a year and blah blah blah, but a lot of men they're not clamoring to have this said relationship or said marriage.
Right.
And so you have the sex, and then you have the kids, the possible thing of the family, 2-parent household.
Well, a significant amount of women, and I say this because we don't want to disrespect hoes, because they're important. The significant amount of women, like, they feel more comfortable having intimacy and having sex if they are mentally engaged with the person, if they feel connected to the person. And, if you get the mind, you get the tang. That's kind of the dynamic there. And so they want this relationship because it sort of validates the sex they're having. And that's, I think, where a lot of that goes. And we're in this dynamic where, we're still defined by traditional roles of provider and protector and such like that. And a significant amount of women, they value that in their life. They want a protective guy. They want a provided guy. That's why, like, a lot of times when we've had guests on and we've kind of talked about this thing, like, there's a clear impetus for women to be with men that make at least more money than them.
Yeah.
And a lot of women are very blatant in saying that they want a man to make a certain threshold of money that quite honestly can be pretty high.
Yeah, shout out to the girl we had on.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of complexity in this, But to me, like, if you look at it as a guy, like, what am I getting out of this? Are you really getting something of value to you?
I'm not.
then the question is answered. But then the question is answered for you, and you have to be comfortable with that. If you're in a different mindset, if the priority in your life or existence is to maybe have children, build a family, raise kids with a woman that is stable and you trust and recognize can be a great parent, then the serious relationship.
But here goes the thing with that.
Different.
As far as me, I don't need a relationship for that. So when I listed that as an advantage, that's because that's something that is somewhat regulated by women. Of course, all of the single women in the world, we understand that that's not, a hard cap line, you know what I mean? Like the NFL hard cap. But, that's a thing that is said, amongst women, like, so you have that. But the other thing is, man, to give up the sex from the other women, right? Theoretically.
And in fact.
What if I end up losing her? You understand? What if I don't want to lose her, but I don't want the relationship, but I don't want to lose her?
Yeah, then you're leveraged into doing something you really don't want to do. And that's a reality that happens. There's a lot of people that, I'll say this, it goes both ways. There are a lot of men that they do value a person and they don't want to lose him, and so they go from dating into the serious relationship. They go from the serious relationship into the marriage. And there are plenty of women that find themselves in a situation that, a guy is doing certain things for them that they value and that they, either can or don't want to do for themselves, and they stay in situations longer than they have to.
Yeah.
And that's why I look at a lot of relationships as really like a toxic thing on both sides.
Yeah.
And I think when you talk to a lot of people in relationships or have been in relationships, a lot of people are not happy. There's a lot of frustration in that.
Yeah.
And again, it eats away at whatever dynamic you had with that person potentially at one time. Mm-hmm. Which might have been pure and fun and good, and now it's like, oh, this freaking guy or this chick is just doing nothing but whatever. And it goes very south. So and
it goes back to like the women we had on this podcast, and we were talking to them, like, and we have two more, Terry and her sister is going to come in 2 weeks. It's like, but we're having fun in this stage, whatever you want to call it, dating or talking or whatever. We're having fun here. Everything is good here. Why do you want to leave here? Like, it's like if you go out with a group of friends to the club and say you guys are bar hopping or club hopping or whatever.
Yeah.
And the first or second place you go to is jumping, it's fun, it's live. Your plan was to go to, a different place. You had this plan, but everything you want is right here. And you're going to have that one friend in the group who's like, hey, it's about that time for us to go to X spot over here. Yeah. Hey, we having fun right here. Why do you want to leave? We're going to go there and the shit is going to be shitty. You're going to wish you were back here. You're going to wish you were back there.
Yeah.
That's what I see, man. That's what I see. Man.
No. It is like, but I think like when you're in a dating situation, we're all putting on our best face.
Yeah. We're
all putting on our sense of humor. We're all putting on our sense of curiosity and interest. And that's, we talked about it so many times. It's like, somebody's like interested in what you do when you first meet them. Mm-hmm. And then once they kind of get to know you, they don't care, about your basketball game. They don't give a damn about, whatever. And that's, it just happens,
mm-hmm.
And it's like, that's the thing. It's people need to recognize when you have a good thing and not screw it up. That's the thing. Because then you get into that where you start to resent what the person really does care about because it might not be you.
Yeah.
Or you kind of like faked it along and pretended to be interested in something, and frustration wears you down, and you're like, yeah, I don't give two shits about the fucking farmer's market right now. It's like there's so many other things I could do, and it's just, I just, you're not going to convince me it's not shitty.
No,
it's just, that's the thing.
You can. I do look forward to challenging those women that are going to come on our podcast. Terry and her sister have a podcast, and so I can't wait because I do want to hear their perspective of what are the advantages in their opinion.
For sure, for us, 100%.
Because we can't come up with any outside of
we can't come up with any.
Outside of kids within a 2-parent household. Which that's also a outdated theory as far as like dying along. The 2-parent household, like so many, there's like. I guess because we have a history of single parent household, but not single parent, but co-parenting.
Well, but I think it takes special people to co-parent successfully.
Yeah,
and like there's a lot of drama in these single parent households, and there's a lot of estrangement that the children have to deal with.
Well, a lot of it comes from resentment and
all of that. And that's that. I mean, that's the reality. Like you and I could sit here and say, hey, we meet a cool person. They don't really want to get married. I don't want to get married. We can have a kid, and we'll just we both have decent incomes. It'll all work out.
Yeah.
But then it's not always what you think it is.
Yeah.
And there comes to be some time where just the people are jealous, resentful, stuff like that. And it can be played out on the kid because the one thing, that both of you care about would be the kid.
Yeah.
Like you could stop caring about each other 100%. I could watch you die and have fun.
Yeah.
But the kid is a different matter.
It's a whole different matter.
That's one of those things. And a lot of, I've just heard too much of it. I've seen too much of it where just the kids really do get damaged by the conflict between the co-parents. Now, it is a beautiful thing when you see people figure it out.
Yeah.
And they can both attend a basketball game and,
and it's seamless.
Be social and be supportive and whatever, but it's almost as rare as a good relationship.
Let me read some of these comments. Shout out to Carvis with another super chat. You guys can send a super chat. It's right on the bottom of your comment. When you comment, it's the little money sign. Shout out to Carvis again. But he's saying most dudes can talk themselves out of the box. And his other comments were him and Kobe were talking. And let's see here. Kobe says, it's only a date if sex is on the line. Pink said it. He's agreeing with you. Yeah. And Carver says, nah, because sex could be on the table, but once you meet, the vibe could change.
Well, but that's all I'm saying, Carver, is when it's a date, it simply means that sex is on the table. It doesn't mean that sex is necessarily going to happen. And here's the thing, like if you go meet somebody for coffee, which appears to be your move, you go you go there and you're like, hey, if things go well, this is going to set up and we'll maybe have some sex. Maybe not right after coffee, but that's the thing. If the vibe is bad and you get there and whatever, it's just not clicking, you're probably not going to go for another coffee with that person. You're probably not going to pursue it any further. So it does. When I say sex has to be on the table, it's not blatantly on the table, but you're going there to figure out if that's a person you might want to pursue that further with.
Right.
And if there's no interest in that level, and if there's just, that person and there's just, that's not where it's going, then it's not a date. It's just getting a coffee, getting lunch, whatever the case might be.
No, that's true. That's true. I like that. And then, and then we have Chris who says, he came in and said, most men marry women because they don't want to lose her.
He said he's cheap.
And he said he's cheap. Yeah.
Hey, I respect you for that.
Yeah. You must not be going to Starbucks. 'Cause you can run up a check at Starbucks, man.
What is the cheapest place to get coffee?
I imagine it's maybe Denny's or something.
Denny's.
I don't know, but they must have like these different, unbranded or non-branded coffee places. Yeah. Because Starbucks, it can get pretty expensive.
Or Dunkin' Donuts, maybe?
Maybe Dunkin'.
Yeah.
Maybe Dunkin'.
Something like that.
There you go. And you still get a little quality. Once again, you guys are on the bench podcast with Bubba and Pink, home of sports, music, and mayhem. We are available on all podcast streaming platforms. Please like, share, subscribe, all of that great stuff. The next thing I wanted to talk about here. So, quick mini story. Now, this could have been many, many moons ago. I don't know, 100, 120 years ago.
Could have been earlier this week.
Maybe. I was in the car driving here. And it's like, how am I going to phrase this? I haven't gotten in trouble on the show in a while, so this is another day I'm gonna get in trouble.
Notice we've been on sports for some time. Coincidentally, the last 8 shows have focused on sports.
Focused on sports only. It's not a coincidence. So listen, man. So I'm out with this girl, right? This is another fine line, whether it was a date or not. I lean towards it wasn't a date, but it could have been. It was an outing.
Why do you lean toward that? What was going on?
It was an outing. I invited this person out on an outing where other friends were there.
Okay.
And we were just chilling. All right. So that's why. Sex was not on the table for later on or anything.
It doesn't have to be for later on.
It's just a person that you're sexually interested in.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, you invited her to hang out with other people.
Yeah.
Like because you wanted her to hang out with other people, or because you want to kind of get to know her, see how she connected, and then maybe you connect with her.
That, and I kind of try to combine things. All right, I'm not gonna say that, but
go ahead.
Yeah, to see where to see. No, because sometimes if you've if you when you're dating, like Chuck says, man, you're dating multiple women, you're talking to multiple women. It's like if you're a busy guy, you're not gonna have time for all these women. So if I'm already gonna be doing something, all right,
it's easy for me to invite you along.
Yeah, let me just get this out of the way.
But that's, to me, that still falls into the date category.
I guess.
Under my criteria.
Yeah, but that's not the purpose of this. I just want to as a relation to what we were talking about earlier. Okay, so boom, you got that. First time I'm ever hanging out with this person.
Okay.
All right? Now when we go, we leave, whatever, the night is over, blah blah blah. You go, first kiss or whatever. You leave that, you go, and then I get a,
the whole this is a date. Like unless you kissed everybody else that was hanging out. Like what?
I've kissed random strangers in the Beecham nightclub, so kissing is not a barometer for me.
Okay.
Yeah, I've had a wild club days. So afterwards, you get the, I love you, and I think I'm in love.
Wait, time out. You invited a woman to hang out with other friends.
Yes.
You kissed her at the end of this engagement.
Yes.
And she responded with, I love you.
Yes. Run.
Change your phone number. Consider calling Cliff and moving. What the hell just happened?
There's
this is the first time you've met the person face to face?
Not first time I met. First time we've ever hung out. It's not first time we met.
Okay.
Not first time we talked or anything. Okay.
Had you known them for years, and this was maybe something that was like simmering under the surface for them, the long lost love of Bubba?
It could have been, but I didn't know. I mean, I don't know. But the thing is, so I can understand that not working on, but that some guys can be what's the word I'm looking for? Whatever. They can react to that in a good way. Some guys can.
A woman saying "I love you" after the first time you've hung out.
Yeah, but
okay.
I'm just the total opposite of that said guy. And so that's the worst.
You couldn't even play it off. So what did you come up with?
I said, I don't know. I said something like, because this was so long ago. I said something like, whatever. I sidestepped. I'm a good James Harden. I
gave her a Euro step.
I can Euro with the best of them, And but then after I Euro step, couldn't even she didn't even say if some women know they're throwing a bomb out there, and if you don't
literal bomb,
and if you don't receive it well, they'll say something to try to backtrack or backtrace.
I was just kidding.
You know what I mean? Or
I thought you were my ex for a moment.
Yeah. This is the wrong number. I texted the wrong number. But good night anyway, Bubba. Or something. They'll do something dumb and silly like that.
Yeah.
But she didn't. She stuck. She stuck there. And
we're in the state of Florida. It's stand your ground.
I can't do anything with that.
No,
what can I do with that, man?
No, it's too early to feel the same way. I don't know what you do with that, man. That's tough, man.
No, I'm in love after the first date too.
That's fine. Just don't say it.
Yeah,
like, I mean,
say it, man. That's
wait, are we
crazy,
playing a game or trying to make each other uncomfortable?
That's tough, man. So my question is, like, when is it? When do you think it's time to say those words there? I love you. When is the time? When is it time to bring that out?
Oh God,
people struggle with that, man.
Oh, it is. I mean, because some people look at it as you're giving away leverage.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of pragmatic in this. I it's almost from that movie. I think it was called Heat with Robert De Niro and Al Pacino. Right. And it's like you have amazing power if you can walk away from anything at the drop of a hat.
Mm.
And so, but when you say first, I love you, that evidences a commitment to you, to that person, and it can be abused, to be honest with you.
Right.
You've kind of put yourself out there, and they can kind of manipulate that as they choose. You're already kind of shown your hand, and that's what it is. After shitting on relationships most of the show, I can't be a hypocrite and say there is a good time to say it, but I guess I would say this: the best time to say I love you is when you genuinely feel it, but a few minutes after the other person says it.
Yeah.
Go with that.
You genuinely feel it, but the other person says it first. What if the other person never says it?
Then you just, play close to the vest. I mean, do you want to win at this, or do you want to just get abused? Because if you put it out there, like I said, you will get abused.
Yeah.
You will get abused.
No, you will, man.
I mean, and that's not gender specific. I mean, whoever kind of puts it out there has left themselves in a vulnerable position. Mm-hmm. And the other person is either going to take care of that or they're going to abuse it. So
Chuck says, he says, kissing random women and tabooing Antigua. I'm guilty of that too. But then he says, you say you love her when you find out she got the snapping turtle and the Gawk Gawk 3000. I guess, man.
You know how she got that, though? Lots of practice. So be warned.
I'll tell you this. I tried to do the circle back.
To who?
To
the I love you girl?
No.
Oh, okay.
To a girl that had the Gawk Gawk 3000. And I threw the I love you out there.
Did you?
I threw it out there, man.
That was your move to get her back.
It was my move to get her back. I thought it would work. I'm not gonna lie. Because this was a girl that was really into me at first.
Yeah.
And the circle back, I've been very successful with that in my life. I'm roughly around 70-80%. That's pretty high.
I thought you were gonna say 90%.
Maybe so.
I thought you were Steph at the line.
I can't think of too many. I'm probably around 80-85.
Yeah.
And this
circle
one
back usually works.
Yeah. And this one did not work at all. And I threw that out there. What's this?
We don't mind pink. It's just a rental. Hey, man, I thought we were talking about serious relationships. If it's just a rental, I'm there. Let's go.
Coming all over the place, man.
And I'm not buying all the extra insurance.
I thought it would work. Now I love you, man. But yeah, it just it didn't work, man. So
what was the reaction?
Huh?
What was the reaction then?
You should have left me earlier.
Oh, hey, familiar story for you. The train left the station, and you weren't on board. Man. Oh, that's tough, man. That's tough.
Very tough. Very tough.
Oh, man.
And then what's worse is I circled back twice.
What'd you use the next time?
The same thing.
I want to die in your arms.
But I think she probably sees through me. But I was very sincere. Did
it work the second time?
I used what's the song?
John Legend.
Saving for me. If I said the words, Carver's, but I don't know if he's still watching. But I used the song lyrics, and I'm still trying to think of the song, but it didn't work, man.
have song lyrics ever worked for you?
Oh yeah, man.
Really?
I've used some Drake.
Just singing the lyrics or talking the lyrics?
I'll text them out.
You text them out?
Yeah, I text them out.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Drake, Keith Sweat.
He's a little whining.
And this one guy, I don't know, Bryson Tiller. God damn it! Hey, shout out to Kobe. He be on top of it. Yeah, Bryson, B Tiller, Drake, Keith Sweat. B Tiller just the one song, The Exchange. That's the name of the Exchange.
Bang.
And those, Exchange down. He got it.
He's on it, man.
He's on it. Those 3 songs,
he's
man.
That guy. What's that one show where they have the fact check guy?
Oh yeah.
We're signing you on as a fact checker.
Kobe, man, what you charge per hour, man? Chuck said, yeah, I was outside with the boombox. Yeah, that's me, man.
In the rain.
Yeah, but so yeah, it didn't work for me. But I think I agree with you though.
Yeah.
When you genuinely have those feelings, and it's in response to when they say it.
Yeah.
Whether you're a woman or a man.
If you're looking for the best time to say it, I don't think there's a question about that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you leave yourself vulnerable, and that never a good place to be.
No. All right. I like that. All right. Once again, you guys on the Bench podcast with Bubba and Pink, home of sports, music, and mayhem. Yes, we do talk sports, music, and mayhem. We're going to get to some sports. We've been so sports heavy.
Lots of mayhem in the first 45 minutes.
Yeah, we've been so sports heavy the last few weeks, and I looked at our IG and YouTube analytics. We were like, we had risen up to it's 91% men, and it was watching, and 8% women and 2% other, and that's we appreciate the 2% other. But the women, we got to spike, we got to even us out a little bit more. The women, we need some more women watching the show. I don't groom myself for nothing. We used to have a lot of women. At one point we had 33% women. We had 33% women just in November. So it's not a coincidence that we went so sports heavy and kind of lost them. We used to have a better balance. So that's the reason for this. So
we need tomboys.
That'll work too.
Yeah.
And tomboys will spread the word to their friends, to their women friends. So as well. Tomboys used to put me on a lot in college, man. I had a tomboy friend. And all right, so this next one here.
Leave it at that.
I didn't get that wild in college. I'll tell you that. All right. This next thing here that we're going to talk about is I was watching this. Well, somebody sent me a clip, and basically it's these women talking about overrated sex positions. All right?
Overrated sex positions.
Yeah. So I'm going to play their clip, and then I'll tell you what my overrated sex position is.
Okay.
The missionary better than doggy style. When I was a young warthog, I've been fucking for a very long time.
Something is wrong with you.
I've always been like a doggy style type of girl. No matter how bad a man is at sex, doggy style, you can get a little something done, okay? But the grown woman, missionary is way better than doggy style.
Absolutely. I feel like doggy style is so barbaric.
It is.
I don't know.
She's like, here's the thing.
I feel like it don't work for some people because I had a lot of ass. So like, if you not well endowed, it's gonna be falling out. Missionary. I want a kiss. I want to tell you how much I love you. I like to look good.
Yes, I want to smell that Hennessy.
I like a little speed.
You know how like it was like cool to listen to Lana Del Rey and you were edgy? That's how doggy style. Doggy style is giving like, oh, you think you did
It was
something.
trendy.
It was trendy.
My first reaction to looking at that is these are 3 attractive women, 2 very attractive. One I was still smash, and so I like
Bubba's seal of smash approval.
A lot of times you watch these, and there's always women that you wouldn't touch with a.
They're only doing you doggy style so you don't have to look at your face.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. So, all right. So my thing is, first of all, that's not a bad take. If I'm a man listening to them, that's not a bad take. I understand what they're saying there, and I do think that missionary is underrated, and because especially if you've been with someone several times, you're trying to do all different type of missionary is like the last thing you may try to do, try to incorporate. You're trying to jump off the damn dressers after a while. You're with somebody. And I think missionary becomes this, hey, I'm here, you can use me. I'm the first step here, you remember? back in high school.
Remember your old friend?
Remember your old friend here. So I understand what they're saying there. But I wouldn't put doggy style. I can't say that's overrated.
I mean, I have a hard time saying any sex position is overrated.
That as well.
And part of it is when you're.
I'm going to give you one though, but go ahead.
Okay. I don't disagree. Like when you're just looking to pound somebody out, you don't really care what they look like. I mean, doggy style's the answer, and it's a good position.
Yeah.
Again, when you do kind of like somebody and you want to see the reaction in their face and everything else, like, definitely I think missionary is more intimate and it has its place. But like if that's not what you're trying to do, whatever. And I do think with sex, you want to do what feels right in the moment.
Yeah, it's a moment.
And so, like,
thing.
I think that, like, to say a position is overrated, I have a hard time saying that because that position might be useful.
Yeah.
It might be an important variable in the normal interaction. And there might be positions out there I haven't tried.
Oh, there's definitely some I haven't tried. But one I think that is overrated is 69.
Really?
I think 69 is overrated. First of all, it's size appropriate.
Can't have an imbalance of size.
Can't have an imbalance of size. I don't. What's the word I'm looking for? I don't. Not disregard, but I don't. When you certain people, I don't fucking neglect. I don't negate. I don't.
You're struggling, man.
I take all women sizes and all of that stuff.
You don't discriminate based on size.
I don't discriminate based on size.
But
it's Black History Month. I can't think of the word discriminate. That's
a damn shame.
But
and you only had 28 days to figure it out. But if a person is too big, 69's off the table.
It has to be.
It might have to be on the floor.
So that's why I think. Yeah, no discrimination. Look, man, Kobe's on it, man.
Yeah. No, I don't think it's underrated. I enjoy it.
Overrated. Not
overrated.
But
I enjoy it.
Overrated is not to say it's bad. It's
Yeah.
just I think because 69 is like a term. First of all, every movie and show is used as a pun. It's used as everybody talks about it.
Juan once gave me number 69 for a Pedro's Posse game. I don't know what he's trying to tell me.
Remember back in the AOL days, everybody had some type of 669 in their names, and it's just a thing. It's an oafish joke, pun that people use.
I have such a juvenile sense of humor. I literally just the numbers it comes up.
You know what I mean?
I almost start laughing. It's just like whatever.
It's so popular. I don't think it's as useful as it is. I don't think it's used as much as it is popular. I think it's talked about a lot more than it is used, and hence overrated.
It's not
definition of a
it's
term.
not an everyday thing for sure.
Right.
And like again, the dynamics, the size has to be right, and there has to be mutual effort being put in. So yeah, I get it's not an everyday thing, but it's just not how I look. I don't look at it as overrated or underrated.
Yeah.
I just say, hey, sometimes this is the move.
Yeah.
I mean, I look at it like arrows in a quiver, and you just want to have plenty of arrows, man. You don't want to run out of arrows.
Yeah, so I don't want to toss that out just yet.
Or like a toolbox. Like you always want to have a tool.
Yeah. You don't want to throw out the 7th, 8th wrench, and you might need it a month later. You might want it a month later.
Where's my 9/16 wrench? That's the one I needed to unlock this orgasm.
That's the one I needed.
Yeah, no.
That's a great analogy.
Leave no tool in the box, man.
I like that.
Empty the clip.
I do. So. All right. Once again, you guys are on the Bench podcast. Moving to some NFL, man. Tom Brady retired, man. Again, but
I saw at least 3 posts where, like, from former teammates that are like, Tom, I've already given you the emotional tribute that you're so just gonna wish you the best of luck now.
No, seriously, man, and I think everyone's saying this time is real, it's serious. I would say be on the watch, not for like last time he retired, he came back within like a week or two.
Oh, so it's like 40 days though.
Yeah. But this time, I don't think it'll be before this season or an off season. The time to watch is after a full season, like Super Bowl time next year.
Really?
I think that's the time to watch.
Oh.
Remember when, like, think of some greats like Michael Jordan, like when he was away for like a couple of years, a year or two, not incredibly long, but just long enough to miss the game, to have a team that is perfect. For example, the 49ers, everyone saying it's a perfect situation now. Yeah. But what if a year rolls by and this Purdy injury affects him more than we thought? Trey Lance is not the player we thought he was going to be at all, which he could be trending towards anyway.
Could be.
And now you have a 49ers team who is set. Yeah, they're going to be, they could be after him.
He's already 45 years old.
Yeah.
Sitting on ice for a year, I just think it moves it that much further away. And,
it does,
and
man, but Jordan with the Wizards, he was 45, 46 in NFL years. In NFL years. You get what I'm saying? Like,
no, I don't.
I think he wasn't as, like, playing quarterback in NFL, we just saw, like, Brady, he wasn't
from a wear and tear perspective.
From a wear and tear perspective.
Yeah, debatable. I mean, 40, 45 under, like, just regular life is 45. I mean, that's different.
Yeah.
Now we're saying 46 or 47.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think if he sits out an entire year,
it's over.
Yeah. My gut is it's over, but I'm 100% certain that he's going to struggle with the decision. And whether it's when camp opens next year or if he's doing the broadcasting thing, which he's contracted to do, and he starts engaging with teams and guys again, the bug's going to be there. The itch is going to be there to play, and he's going to have to resist it. I do think, I would love to have seen him come back in a better situation. I'm 51 myself, and I love to still play, so I'm not going to begrudge anyone for wanting to continue to play. But, I mean, this year with the divorce, the relative failure of the Bucs as a team, it was a grind and probably an unsatisfying way to end things. Yeah. And that'll probably eat away at him to a degree. But, it'll be interesting to see. He'll have the broadcast gig. As a father, and he has kind of sort of publicly in some interviews expressed some regret about the single-mindedness of his career pursuits and what that meant to him as a parent, the quality of parenting he was able to avoid or afford his kids. I think he'll probably invest some in that. Particularly, too, with the divorce having occurred where, he's going to have to make an extra effort to stay connected to the kids.
Funny thing is, Kobe saying, Tom lost his wife to lose in the first round. And then he says,
That's not a bad loss, though.
Believe he came back just because Adam Schefter announced his retirement before he got the chance to.
That's petty.
That played a part because, petty Tom. But so non-football, if you're Brady, do you, now that you are retired and seemingly the thing was his wife wanted to divorce because he wanted to continue to play, do you go back and get your wife?
No.
If you're Brady,
no, because he'll lose leverage forever in that situation. He'll have to eat crow, whatever, to do that and go overboard to convince that and then eventually we'll have Tom Brady, the greatest football quarterback in the history of the world, as a neutered guy. Like, who the fuck wants that?
Because what she did worked based in essentially. What
she did won. Yeah. If he grovels back to get her at this point, she's been run through by some guys too. So I mean, let that go, Tom. Let that go. There's no point in chasing that.
We're not. The circle back is not for Tom.
It shouldn't be in this situation.
Yeah,
I mean, he can circle back to some people that he was banging during the marriage. Maybe there's some good times to be had.
That's just going to say before.
You're Tom Brady. I mean, just go find some new tang. New tank for Tom. I mean,
Tom is a guy. Tom, like, women just like Tom. Man. I mean, like, black women that I've never seen have any interest for white men, like, love Tom. They have him on their screensavers. Like, they.
Who has more in that category? Travis Kelce, Tom Brady, or myself?
That's a good one. You're on fire tonight, man. But yes, man, Tom Brady retires. What's Chris saying? Tom is an alpha. He ain't going back. I would lose all respect for him. And Chris is Tom Brady.
No, but Chris is right. Like, if all of a sudden, like 6 months from now, we see Tom, at the beach with her, and whatever, like, you're not going to respect him more.
Yeah,
you're going to know what that was about. You will.
Yeah.
Like, deep down, you'll never look at Tom Brady the same again.
Yeah.
Tom, don't do it.
Don't do it.
If you need a support group, you can hit Bubba or I up on IG.
And while you're at it,
I offered some kind words on your retirement post on IG, so hey, you know where I'm at.
Yeah, man. But Tom, so he has retired. He's going to join Fox. He's not going to be a part of the Super Bowl, commentary group there. But he'll be back for next season.
I'm super interested in how he'll be as a commentator.
Yeah,
he's a thoughtful, bright guy, and he at different points in his career, we know he has that kind of competitive fire, but he's also got a self-effacing sense of humor that's come through in some of his stuff.
I think he has John Gruden potential.
I think he makes John Gruden look like a bum.
Well, we haven't seen him yet. So
no, I'm quite confident. I'm very confident.
But John was great
for a little while. And then the problem with broadcasting is these guys become like 90% shtick. Like you like, and Gruden was that, like, he
became
that shtick. Like,
thing.
when he first came on, it was original, it was new. He was a little bolder maybe in some of his announcing takes, and then it just became like a shtick. If you go back to when I was a kid, like John Madden, his big thing was scribbling with the telestrator.
Yeah.
And like, again, it when it first started, it was new. It was actually gave you some insight, and then it just became, John being goofy with the telestrator. Like,
so what would you say, Tony? You like Tony?
Romo? I like Tony Romo right now, but again, he's in the early part of his career.
He is.
If you look at, it's not unlike, maybe being like a musical artist where you come out, your first couple albums are fire, and it's like originally this is what you are, and then you kind of like mellow out, fall back on stick. Yeah. You lose originality with what you're doing.
And that's why they switch these guys around after. Like, only the greats stay for a long time. And these other guys rotate every Super.
There's another thing that I think is central to Tony Romo's success, and it'll be critical to Tom's success too. You've been in the league for a long time, and you've played against and gone against teams, coaches, and players that are in the game right now. And you know from your own film study that you've done recently what these guys and these teams like to do. And you bring that to the booth. Like, Tom's like going to be an encyclopedia of knowledge on these guys. And again, if you look at it, not just the shtick part, but like the longer he broadcasts, by year 4, 5, and 6, there's more turnover in the league, coaches, players, whatever, and it's not the dudes that he played against last year, or it's not the guy that he played in the Super Bowl 2 years ago that he's talking about. And you lose that connectivity. And I think Tony Romo is going to lose that. I mean, he kind of came to prominence where he was like literally calling plays before they happened.
Yeah.
But why? Because this guy spent hours studying film, looking at the way people do things, and again, you did it in like a thirst for knowledge perspective, not like just a professional homework perspective.
I'm gonna tell you something. That's a great point that you're bringing up, because if you watch and listen to Tony now, first of all, it's way less where he's accurately guessing these plays before they happen. I don't know if the network told him, hey, you got to calm some of that down. Maybe some teams are complaining, or it has something to do with what you're saying. It's just over time, new players, new coaches, new plays, and he's just less accurate knowing the formation and knowing what play is going to be next. But he's not at the pace he was when he first got in. Right. It's already slowing down.
But I also it's a familiarity, but it's also you're in that rhythm of studying film. When Tom's studying film like up till now, and you just pick up on teams, you pick up on habits and things that people like to do.
No, that's for sure. That's for sure. So yeah, we'll definitely see what goes on with Tom when he gets back in there. Once again, you guys are on the bench podcast with Bubba and Pink, home of sports, music, and mayhem. Let's get to some trending topics here.
Oh yeah,
get to some trending topics. Not necessarily start a bench with Coach Pink, but we're just going to roll through some of these topics here. First off here, you can see up top left, man, you have in the picture Jalen Hurts, Doug Williams, and Patrick Mahomes. Again, shout out to Black History Month. This is the first Super Bowl ever where two black quarterbacks are going to be facing each other. And Doug Williams is important because he's the first black quarterback to ever win a Super Bowl with Washington there. And, of course, he's been interviewed and he's been on several platforms in the last couple of days just detailing that and talking about these two guys. And we actually had a guy, I had put up the post. I put up the post, and again, I tell you, Pink, we're kind of connected. Our YouTube is kind of connected to HBCU world, HBCU land.
Yes.
And as soon as I posted the picture of what we were going to be talking about tonight, there's a Grambling guy he comes under, and he's just having a whole discussion about Doug Williams and Grambling. And that's awesome because we love Grambling, we love HBCU football, of course, and Doug Williams is a product of HBCUs, and there you go.
Yeah.
What do you think about these two quarterbacks going to be facing each other and the importance of it and where black quarterbacks have come?
I love the matchup of the two quarterbacks. I love the significance of this is a first that happens. Now there's a certain disappointment that it's 2023 and Super Bowl 60 at this point that this happens. But to be a second, to be a third, to be normal, you have to get by the first. And so in that perspective, this had to happen.
Yeah.
And it's happening now. So let's be thankful for it, and let's have a great game.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it will be. It's the Eagles have a better team, a better roster, but you have the Mahomes factor, you have the Andy Reid. I think the Chiefs have the coaching advantage, the quarterback advantage, and tight ends.
What do you think of Nick Sirianni?
I think I don't know enough to have a complete all around thought on him. But I how can you complain?
He's done a good job, but
he's a great motivator.
I think,
it seems like
it seems like there's a little bit of dick in him.
Yeah,
he's got a little bit of that feisty dickhead vibe going. But again, I think this particular Eagles team is embracing that and rallying around it. But I do think it could be a hard vibe to carry when the success isn't there. He may not be a guy that's capable of building through adversity.
And we haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, but that's my
will.
Cautionary note on the early vibe of Nick Sirianni.
Yeah.
So in 3 or 4 years from now, when he gets run out of town on a 4-12 team, post this clip, Bubba.
What do you think of this? I was watching a podcast where they were talking about Mahomes and Burrow, and they were trying to find the comparison, right? So some people were saying, of course, this is the Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, right? And the one guy was like, well, if it's a Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, one has to be one has to be the other. And then, then they're going back to Magic Bird and stuff like that. And then this one guy says, well, I don't think it's either of that. I think Mahomes, this is the guy saying that, I think Mahomes is Tiger Woods and everyone else is the field. You're going to have the Mickelson come up. You're going to have so-and-so come up. Like, there's going to be, like, you're not going to win every single time, and there's going to be a different challenger. Like Burrows won't be there every year. Some years it might be Herbert. Some years it might be Burrow. Some years it might be Jalen Hurts. Some year it might be this. But Mahomes is going to be the constant. Now, I see you shaking your head, but the thing I will say is he's been in the league. He's been a starter 5 years. He's been in 5 division championships and 3 Super Bowls. That's kind of Tiger.
Tiger was different. Mm-hmm. Tiger was unique in a different way.
Yeah.
Like Tiger, I mean, Mahomes does some cool stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm a huge fan. But Tiger completely changed the environment and mentality of golf.
Mm-hmm.
And that Pat's not doing that. For all of his success.
But
Tiger got golfers in the gym.
Yeah.
At the professional. Like that didn't happen. That was non-existent.
I think you're comparing the athlete to athlete and their success. This is comparing his situation to Mahomes' situation.
But I think that there's a big divide in that. Like I don't think Tiger's a good comparison. I think Tiger's what he did is just at a crazy place.
Mm-hmm.
And again, this was the guy that was identified from when he was like a teenager. He was like LeBron. Like that's a better like this guy that we know he's coming.
Yeah.
And and then here he is, and he's doing everything his damn father told he was going to do. That's different. That's so out there, and that's kind of what I don't think is a fair comparison. And that to me, that is the gist of what Tiger Woods was. Like you have all those crazy Earl Woods quotes about he literally is talking about his son as like a messiah, which obviously he fell short of that.
Yeah.
But like when he's reeling off 4 Grand Slams in a 12-month span, you're just like, what the fuck are we watching right now? And as great as Pat is, it's not that. But I don't think the Magic Johnson thing and because that was just that had like an important like cultural race element to it that's not present with Pat and his rivals. Brady Manning, he's at that level. Nobody's consistently gotten to that level to be Brady or Manning, however you want to characterize Pat.
Want to do it, yeah.
So it's just not there right now. He's just the best guy going right now.
Yeah.
And, until, and it weirdly, and I remember we had this conversation before he played Brady in the Super Bowl, was it's like if he loses the Super Bowl, which he did, he'll never catch Tom.
Yeah.
And I still believe that. But it doesn't mean his greatness, isn't going to be great. But, the way we have to look at Burrow, though, Burrow had this unique little winning streak over him that he lost. And do not underestimate what he did with the bad ankle.
Yeah.
I mean, he put on an absolutely incredible performance. He played error-free football on a bad ankle. He had the guts to run a handful of times, not a ton, but when he needed to run, he ran. He threw balls off that bad ankle at times, knowing it was going to hurt like hell. And he just played a great football game with all that going on.
Yeah.
And the stakes of going to the Super Bowl. That was, in a lot of ways, that was as good a performance as he's probably ever had, given essentially a disability that he dealt with on that stage. That was absolutely freaking incredible. So to me, he's the best there is right now. He's got a chance to continue to compile some crazy stats. Nobody to me has reached true rival status. If Mahomes or if Burrow won last week, the conversation's alive.
It's a lot different.
But I think it's because of the way that game played out. Mahomes just showed you who he is, and he's just better than everybody in football right now.
So, Chris, Kobe says Tiger's run can't be duplicated. Next closest is LeBron finals record. Chuck is saying
next closest is LeBron's finals record.
Next closest is LeBron's final record. I think he's saying to under when you were talking about LeBron. You were talking about I think you mentioned LeBron or something. I think he was responding to that.
Oh.
And then Chuck is saying Pat's not swimming in enough white women to compare him to Tiger.
He is with a white woman, though.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the source of his magical powers.
Quickly here, before we get to the other trending topics on here, Chris is asking, and it is a trending topic, about Sean Payton with Denver, because, of course, he was just named the head coach. I didn't even have that in the rundown, only because – in my opinion, I have mixed feelings on Sean Payton as a coach. He's had some success in New Orleans, but he's also had a pair of 79 seasons. I'm indifferent on how I'm not sure if he's the reason why Drew Brees is where he's at or what he became, or was that already in Drew Brees' cards? Because what other quarterback does Sean Payton have that he has elevated to that level?
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
And hold on, real quick. But think about that. But I just want to hit Carver's with another super chat. Appreciate you, Carver's, 1,000%. His comment is, as great as Pat Mahomes is, he's not in the class by himself yet. Brady and Manning were different. Then you had A-Rod and Breeze was there right there as well. Burrow, Allen, Herbert can all be in that class with Mahomes. Well.
They're all comfortably behind him right now.
Yeah, because you can't use. Think about what you wrote here. You said he's not in the class by himself, but then on the last sentence you said all of those guys can be in the class. So it can't be both. You saying if he's not in the class by himself, then who's in there with him? Because you're saying the other guys can be. So that's the fundamental difference there. But I do agree. Yeah, Burrow wins more if Herbert finally wins as a playoff game and not have another team come back by 30
points. Get Herbert out of this conversation. No, to me, Sunshine and Trevor Lawrence is ahead of him.
Yeah.
You know, he's in his first year with real coaching. He played very well. He was down 27-3 or whatever the hell it was, and beat your savior
on the worst team,
Justin Herbert,
on a less talented team.
Yeah, with less talent. That's ridiculous. Like, get him out of here. I'm so sick of this Justin Herbert shit. No, seriously. Okay, talented guy. Whoopee shit. We're here to win games. We're here to win titles.
That's true,
you have 0 playoff wins.
Yeah. And hasn't been particularly great in the second half of those playoff games you have been in.
But Sean Payton, good, circle back to that. I think he's the best available.
Oh, he fixed it. He said he does agree with you. Mahomes is the man right now.
Okay. Sean Payton is, to me, the best available head coaching candidate. I think Denver is smart to hire him and pay whatever they need to do. But I'm not without reservations. He did have some tough seasons. The Saints, except for the 1 year they won, were a little bit of a front-running team. And to me, not a particularly tough team, either physically or mentally. And that's part of a head coach. And I also have concerns about being stuck with Russell Wilson. I think it's hard to really develop older quarterbacks in ways, and I think he's going to have to compromise and find ways. And part of coaching, this is what it is anyway. But you're finding ways to maximize your talent. But he's going to have to really, I think, probably bend more to what Russell can do now than what he may want to do as a quarterback guru. I honestly thought the better job would have been like a San Diego with a guy like Herbert early in his career and see if you could really change the course of that career. That would be more intriguing to me as a coach than to go work with Russell Wilson in Denver.
It would be. I 1000% agree with you as far as Denver. Like, go out and do whatever you have to do. I don't care about. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, they overpaid for him." All of that. I don't care. It's not attached to your. You already have a fucked up salary cap because of Russell. So whatever you can do outside of that, you go do it. Whatever it takes to do it. You're a fucking billionaire.
And the one thing with coaching hires, the reality is they're not on the cap.
That's what I'm saying.
And so you can. If there's one area where you can overpay, it's
coach, and it's not going to kill you. I mean,
it doesn't affect the roster.
It doesn't affect the roster.
It doesn't affect your 53.
Yeah, it doesn't affect the 53. So that's the thing. So whatever you have to do to get him, you get him, regardless of how he does. So you have that. But when you're looking at New Orleans, right? And Carvis is a fan of the Saints. Do you drive a higher bargain to let Sean go? I mean, theoretically, he's already gone, but he's still a part of your team. So they had to, in theory, trade him. So they gave up a pick. But do you drive a harder bargain? Like, okay, you want to leave us? And, Denver, you want him? Come on, give us something. Give us more.
I'm not in favor of that. I think that's kind of petty. Whatever. Yeah. I mean, the guy's not your coach. He retired from coaching. Like, what? You're going to essentially hold him hostage.
Right.
Like, I do believe. I don't believe in being an asshole to good people. I believe in being an asshole to assholes, but not to good people. And the guy was a great servant of the team, a great coach of the team. You had as much success as you've ever had. He decided not to coach any further. It's not an uncommon scenario that a coach steps away, gets the battery recharged, and wants to do it again. You currently have a head coach. Let him go for fair compensation. Don't hold anybody over the barrel for that. It's petty and unbecoming.
Do you hold the one thing, the worst thing that's on Sean Payton's resume is when it was said that he told players to hurt the players of the other team, the bounty gate. Do you think that's a significant hit?
I've probably told people to hurt other people in games, so I would be a hypocrite to stand there and say that that's terrible. As an older, more mature guy, I have great respect for people that play. And I don't like to see injuries. I really don't anymore. Yeah. So I would say that's obviously not the best thing in the world to have done, but I don't know that I continue to hold that against him. I mean, he did serve a season suspension for it. And again, there's that fundamental thing, and it's in criminal justice too. It's like, what are we going to be as a disciplinary society? Are we going to be, okay, you did something wrong, here's a penalty, once you serve it, we welcome you back into the fold? Or are we scarlet letter people, where you do something wrong with one time in your life and you serve a penalty, but the penalty never stops?
Yeah.
And you're continued to be this scarlet letter person that's going to be impacted for the rest of their days, no matter what they do.
Yeah.
And I think it's a healthier place societally to be able to say, hey, you screwed up. We figured out what the penalty was for that. Once you serve that, come back.
Let's move on.
Yeah.
Kobe with our first Florida State reference of the day.
What is the Florida State reference?
He said Sean Payton didn't retire. He saw the writing on the wall. He pulled a Jimbo Fisher at Florida State. He quit is what he did.
Yeah, he might have. But, I mean, Jimbo was had the Christmas tree by the garbage and was out, a week later at Texas A&M. He didn't take a season off. He didn't feign a Urban Meyer fake heart attack or anything like that.
Not an Urban. That's
more of an Urban.
Yeah.
Jimbo is just deuces. I'm out. He's done such a great job at Texas A&M. Fucking bitch.
Right hook there from Pink. Oh, man. Oh, okay. We got to get to the others here. All righty. Once again, you guys are on the bench podcast with Bubba and Pink. We're on our trending topics here. Let's go to Lotto, man. Lotto sells her used panties on eBay. Sparks 100,000 bidding war. First, right before we get to Lotto, I have a couple of I have sisters and female friends who I urge them all the time. More so when they ask me for money. Like, women are getting money in so many different ways. There are women who are making like $5,000 a week or a month just for foot pictures. Just to show their titties with no face. Like guys are paying outrageous prices.
So there's
for
no
crazy
excuse
things.
for women to be broke.
There's just absolutely
no excuse.
There's no excuse. Do you need my services? I only charge 15%
to photograph feet.
To do the hard work. But anyway, Lotto sells used panties on eBay. I didn't even know eBay was still alive. Silly me.
I didn't know either.
Would you or have you ever paid $100,000 for used panties?
The only thing I paid $100,000 for was my house. That's it, man.
She is a celebrity. She's
This
cute.
is so ridiculous to me. Like, I don't understand this. Like, $100,000 for used panties, and what type of use are we talking? Do we have a skid mark? Did she squirt in these panties?
Is she able to charge more?
I don't know. But $100,000 for panties. Then here's the question: you buy them for $100,000. Like, what are you gonna do with them? Like, frame them for your office?
You have to.
Like, rub your face in them and wear them like a helmet? I don't get it.
And then who would believe they're actual Lotto's panties and not some random chick you met?
Yeah.
Do you have to put the eBay receipt on top of the frame or something?
Yeah, you probably do. And who's to say they're her used panties?
Yeah.
Like,
she could just
fraud this out. Oh, these are my mom's.
She's
had vaginitis for 8 years.
Can I get an in-person picture? I don't know. But that's
that is insane to me. $100,000. I mean, like, anybody that has $100,000 to do this is, like, obviously, like, financially successful in some way.
Oh yeah.
But, like, I want to see a picture of the person.
Stop it,
in
Carvis.
the bidding war.
You know who Lotto is. You're a music guy. Big Lotto.
He's just hiding because he bought those panties.
Big Lotto. She changed the name a couple of times. Now it's just plain Lotto. It's like Cher.
Yeah, Carvis got out of Bitcoin in the right time.
She's mulatto. She got a couple of hit records. She's like an R&B hip hop girl. Speaking of money, though, you got Flavor Flav. He admits he spent over $2,000 a day on drugs for 6 years straight.
That's crazy.
That's one of these ludicrous numbers that I don't believe. I'm sure he spent a lot of money on drugs.
That's like $700K a year.
That's crazy, man.
$4.2 million over 6 years.
I remember when
drugs.
I was a kid in the Flavor of Love show.
Yeah.
You ever heard of that?
Oh, yeah.
And
I watched a couple episodes.
Yeah, and I had this huge crush on New York. That was the girl who won the Flavor of Love. Yeah. Yeah. And that was a wild show, but it doesn't surprise me. He spent a lot of money on drugs, but $2K a day. You said that's what, $7?
It's $700,000 a year.
That's crazy, man.
And it's $4.2 million over 6 years. What? I mean, I hate drugs, man.
Yeah.
They're just so stupid.
But
like you spend that type of money, like you could buy so many of Lotto's panties, it'd be ridiculous. She wouldn't have any to wear.
You could start your own e-commerce store.
Yeah, exactly.
With a lot of panties.
I mean, what the hell, man? Just mark them up. But yeah, it's just so crazy when people get into drugs. It's like, I just feel like damn near everybody knows or should know that drugs are a bad idea. And like how you find yourself continuing to use them is just beyond comprehension to me.
Yeah.
Like, what kind of idiot are you? Especially drugs that cost a lot.
Right.
I mean, if you're going to do drugs, it's like I play golf only when somebody else pays.
Right.
Like, just do drugs when somebody else buys them.
Yeah, cocaine's a hell of a drug. Chuck said, I didn't know Flav had money like that.
Neither did I.
Will Smith and Martin Lawrence.
And I'm damn sure the tax authorities didn't either.
Will Smith and Martin Lawrence, man, they're going to reunite to Bad Boys 4 is coming out. I had no idea. I just saw that today, actually.
I did too.
And this is sort of...
Do they work a face slap into the script?
Oh, yeah.
Got to do it, right?
Yeah, you got to do it.
Got to own it.
But my thing is, the Bad Boys trilogy, it's over. I mean, we talk about this a lot with shows and movies. This is going to have to be one hell of a storyline for this to work.
Did you see the most recent one?
Bad Boys 3?
Yeah.
Bad Boys 3 came out, a couple years ago. And it was fine. It was
okay.
Yeah, it was fine.
It was, to me, it was like so far like removed in time from the first two.
From 1 and 2, yeah.
And now you go with this. I don't know. It's to me, it's just lazy Hollywood thinking. We'll just trot these guys out for another go, quick, cash grab, and away we go.
Yeah, people are going to watch.
You probably, freaking Martin Lawrence probably isn't doing shit these days. You could probably get him for a few tacos. And Will Smith is a bit tarnished. And so, like, whatever his normal asking price is, it's probably down. It's probably why this movie got made. It's like, hey, I think we can get Will cheap. Let's go. But you got to work a face slap into the script, man, or you're not doing yourself any justice.
You have to. Shout out to the writers. Hopefully you have one watching. Yeah. Let me see. It has great box office numbers, but I'm not interested, Chris says. Oh, it's going to, yeah. Kendrick Lamar, To Pimp a Butterfly becomes highest rated album of all time. I thought this was interesting because...
Highest rated?
Yeah, highest rated.
How do you rate it out? What do you mean?
I'm not sure
about
what...
sales, right?
I'm sure they encompass sales and fan interaction on social media, things like that, and they probably put all that together.
Okay.
But what was interesting to me when I saw that was, I'm not a huge Kendrick Lamar fan at all. I wouldn't say I'm a fan at all, actually. But this is one of my favorite albums of all time in any genre.
Really?
Like when this came out, I just thought it was like pure perfection. And it's the only album I listen to from Kendrick. Of course, I listen to singles and songs he puts out, or if he features on someone's songs. Of course, he had Kodak on 3 of his songs on the last album. I listened to those. But Pimp a Butterfly I just thought it was a masterpiece, similar to my feelings on J. Cole, his album, the Forest Hill Drive. I thought that was perfection. I'm not a J. Cole fan. But I just thought that was one of the best albums of all time.
Did you hear KD on these two guys?
No.
Yeah, he was like at one point he was like kind of he's more of a Kendrick Lamar guy. Mm-hmm. He said it with time though he just feels that like J. Cole speaks to him more, and that if he was a rapper he would envision himself sounding more like J. Cole than Kendrick Lamar. And the one thing I would say Kendrick Lamar, I don't like his voice. Yeah. Lyrically he's very good, whatever, but his voice is not a voice that you would want to have. Right. When you listen to certain people rap or certain people, more particular for me, singing, you're like, man, I'd love to sound like that. Mm-hmm. I don't think anybody goes around the world saying, "Man, I'd love to sound like Kendrick Lamar."
Yeah, he puts a lot of effects in his voice. He puts a lot. Yeah, he does a lot.
But
of
to
that.
mask its inherent weakness. Essentially for me.
Yeah.
You know.
But yeah, so that's that. I just thought that was interesting. Kind of validates my feelings. So I just wanted to put that on it just because of that.
Yeah.
All right. Once again, you guys are on the bench podcast with Bubba and Pink, home of sports, music, and mayhem. What I want to do, and I'm gonna have to pause this. Hold on, let's see here, and then if I can get to it, pause. All righty. So Valentine's Day is coming up, of course, and Ashley Adams, she has this service. I actually went to go get a facial 2 weeks ago, and
you let a guy come on you?
Oh. I have to cut this up, man, and do a commercial. I gotta have that in there. The facial was so awesome, and
I'm sure it was. I don't know if I used the same word for it.
It was great.
Embarrassing.
And she has some specials for Valentine's Day. You can go as a couple. The 2 facials for $90. That's really a great, awesome deal. She sets the mood. She has the music. Of course, she's certified, so the work itself is awesome.
What did she play during your facial?
There were like there was
that coochie, pop.
No, it's soothing music.
Oh, okay.
And then you could go while you're there for a facial, your girl can get a tummy tuck or a facelift and all of that great stuff. There's several different things.
She does tummy tucks and facelifts?
Yeah.
Aren't those like plastic surgery procedures?
She does they call it, I can't say the word, but coochie stuff, the wax and coochie stuff for $75. That's what I call it.
Oh.
And so yeah, look her up. I'm gonna have it when we put it back out on social media. You'll be able to see her social media handle, but it is Ashley Adams on Facebook, Ashley Simone Adams on Facebook, and those are the deals for Valentine's Day. Tell her Bubba and Pink sent you, and there you have it.
No discount.
It's already discounted.
Okay, it's already discounted.
There's no Bubba and Pink discount on top of the Valentine's Day discount.
And she'll just say, "Gee, thanks."
What was next here?
Do you want the Bubba special?
Okay, so going back to, we didn't leave out dating and relationships here.
We're not done with it.
We're not done with it. Coming back. My favorite show of all time is Seinfeld. All right.
Really?
So this sparked the thought because a couple of days ago I was watching this show, Seinfeld show, maybe for, I don't know, the 1200th time. And George in this episode, okay, he's having lunch, and it's not a date. He's having lunch with his friend Elaine and Elaine's friend who he does not know, right? So they just having lunch. It's just a lunch.
Okay.
And
I would agree that a lunch between George and Elaine would not be a date.
Right. I agree. There you go. And
Carvis may not. But.
During that lunch, her friend, Elaine's friend, says, "Oh man, I have this friend, right? And right now George is engaged. All right, George is engaged at this time. So Elaine's friend says, "Oh man, I have this friend that really loves bald, short, stocky, and funny guys, right?" And George, if you've ever seen Seinfeld before, George is a guy. His stick on the show is he has all these different dating problems. He can never find the right woman, and
because he's short, bald, and
overweight. Woe is me. And he goes through all this, and so he's like, "Oh, well, that's interesting. I've never heard this before. Somebody's interested in my type." And he's like, "Oh, well, who's your friend? But you're engaged. Don't worry. Well, who's your friend? Marissa Tomei." And at the time, Marissa Tomei, she's huge. She's a huge actress. She was on My Cousin's Vinny, one of my favorite movies. She effectively was the lawyer. And so she's very attractive. He goes out with her even though he's engaged and blah, 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 right? So I went to thinking, I was like, man, if I was engaged or something like that, who would I effectively leave
your engagement for?
Yeah. And there's really only one woman.
Only one.
I would only leave for one woman, and that is Reginae, Lil Wayne's daughter.
Wayne's daughter?
I would leave anyone.
Really?
For her, under any circumstance.
Under any circumstance?
Under any circumstance. I would leave where
is she? Is she the one in the jeans there?
Top left.
The top left, okay.
If my fiance was having a baby, in the hospital.
In labor.
And Regine called for a coffee date.
Not even a sure thing. Not even like, hey.
I would leave the hospital.
I just got my coochie shaved.
Hey, babe, my boss called. I'll be right back.
It's an urgent matter.
It's an urgent matter at work. I would leave, man. That's the only person that I would do that for. Kobe says terrible taste. Chuck says Kelly Rowland for him.
Kelly Rowland, okay.
I think every man and every woman would say no, but I think every man and woman has that person or people that they will leave that engagement for.
Yeah, I guess so.
You have any celebrities that you have ever like?
Halle Berry was always like my absolute favorite.
Okay,
like so probably that.
Oh, Halle was.
I'm not
something, man.
Yeah, but
still is.
But she's kind of weird now. Like, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to just inherit the back end of a losing season.
You don't want that.
I mean, you just like, I don't know. You just getting a serious relationship over there. You're just freaking miserable.
Not everybody can be as nice as Sean Payton, man, inheriting a losing culture there.
Exactly.
But no. Prime Holly is definitely a top 5 choice there for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I just thought that was interesting because of that and funny. And another way
good setup, good build up to that.
Yeah. And this way I could shout out. I'd be able to edit this clip out, put it out on IG. I could tag Regine. Gain some type of visibility. You know what I mean? For the record, I'm not engaged.
Yeah. How old is she?
Who cares? She's over 18. She's well over 18.
As long as she's over 18.
She's well over 18.
I think the authorities might care if she's below 18.
She's in her 20s.
Okay. Yeah. Fair game.
She was in her first movie.
What movie was she in?
I haven't seen it yet, but I will.
Like a theater movie or like a Netflix type movie?
It was a Tubi Netflix type movie. It's a first role, you know.
Well, I'm just trying to figure out, can I go see this somewhere?
You can find it online. I will find it for you and I will let you know.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
There you go.
Way to be a
matter of fact, by the end of the show, I'll have the name for you.
Fantastic.
All right.
What's with all the cowboy hats down there?
I was just trying to find random pictures of celebrities to put up there.
Who are those chicks in the cowboy hats?
I knew you were going to ask, and I just don't know. I know the girl in the bottom right, the black girl there. I know her in the blue jean shorts.
Who's that?
I've seen her in several things. Kobe, where you at when you need him?
I don't know.
I know her name. I just couldn't. I can't tell you. Let me see.
She never recovered from the hitter, the singer that hit her.
Talking about that smashed or hit her?
Domestic violence.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, Chris something or other.
Yeah.
Back in the 90s.
Oh man.
Fucking son of a bitch.
Knocked the sense out of her.
Yeah, but I will say this though, like. Chicks wearing cowboy hats is like an automatic like -8 points.
-8?
Yeah, you get a bad plus minus.
Kiki Palmer.
Kiki
goddamn Palmer.
Is that Kiki Palmer? He says.
In the bottom right.
And who are the white chicks?
Not that. It'll take longer. It'll take longer to find out. I just wanted to get
we
that
haven't had F, Marry, Kill in a while.
We haven't. We got to bring that back.
You always got to bring that back.
Yeah, we'll bring that back. Look at this. Look at this video. This is going back to the NFL here. We're gonna have some fun. This is Arian Foster. He's a guy after he retired, he kind of hit the media space. And this is what he's been doing since then, along with a lot of other things for sure. But listen to this.
Arian, it's funny before we start taping, Arian was telling me about how the NFL is rigged and how every year he used to get a script.
Yeah.
Day one of training camp that would get dropped off at his locker. And you would have to, it was like week 1, you'll do this. Week 2, you're going to have a hamstring injury. Week 3, this is going to happen.
Yeah.
Week 4, you're going to get 3 touchdowns. And so then you just have to, did you memorize those before the season started, or would you go and rehearse the script before every game?
We really dedicated to it, so it was more so like that's what practice was about. It was about practicing the script. Like, this is what goes on, and this is what we have to do in order to. Yeah.
And this referee is going to miss this call. because they hate you and they love the Colts, that
sort
of thing.
WWF, so it's like, you know, we know what's going to happen, but you still got to put on a show.
Yeah.
What did you think when you got the script in 2016 that said your career was going to fall off a cliff when you stopped believing in God?
That was 2015.
Around there.
That was 2015, and oddly enough, the script writers, it didn't have anything to do with that, actually. It just had more so to do with they needed to change the scenery in Houston.
It was time to go.
Yeah, it was time to go. So they wanted to get everybody out of Houston. That was the ultimate goal. So that was what that was about.
I like how that guy kind of gave a little pushback at the end with the joke.
Oh, that was great.
That was
fantastic. That was the best.
What do you think about that? But first of all, for context, this is what some people are saying. This came out on Twitter. They released this clip on Twitter. And people are saying that he was being sarcastic. But I went back and I looked at the entire video, and there wasn't a ha-ha, I was just joking moment. If you're getting that he was sarcastic, you're literally just watching that, and you must know him from a personal thing.
Or you're just assuming.
Or assuming, because there was no part on the top end or bottom end
that acknowledged
that
this is a joke.
That this is satire. Yeah.
I don't like crazy people. I don't. And I put him in that category.
Remember, this is Arian Foster. This is the same guy who he was trending a couple of years ago. He was like, it was some huge animal, a bear, I think. It was something like, he was like, no, seriously, I can literally beat a bear, a big bear right now.
Yeah.
He's like, I could take him on and I'll win in a fight. He was
then
like,
get it on pay-per-view and do it. Prove it. Like, I mean, I don't give two shits about you telling me you can beat up a bear.
Yeah.
Like, that does nothing. Like, if you could beat up a bear, put it on pay-per-view and let's go.
Yeah.
You know,
it was a wolf.
Any animal. I mean, if you could kick a cat's ass, put it on pay-per-view. This is how we resolve our issues.
What do you think about this, man?
I just think that this is just. He always had a reputation of being an odd guy. Yeah. Kind of an outcut. Yeah. This is not surprising that he would be a guy that says this. The logistics and even the way he presented it made it even less credible. That in training camp, you're going to get a script, presumably for the entire season. That's moronic. I mean, I could accept that maybe league wide, that there's some things the league enjoys seeing and might have a pushing hand to bring them about at some point. Because it's better TV, it's better money. I get that. I could accept that. I don't like that. I don't choose to believe that that's true, but I could see that. But the way he's presenting, we get a script the first week of training camp. And, dude, it's guys running full speed into each other for 17 weeks. Like, people get hurt that you can't control. Yeah. There are variables that you cannot control. I mean, and that's why I say I could maybe accept a little push as the season kind of goes, like whatever. Oh, hey, people are really digging the Chiefs. It would be pretty cool if the Chiefs got to the Super Bowl and the Kelsey brothers played each other. Yeah. I can get, hey, maybe there's something going on here. Maybe, we'll kind of, miss a call or two. I don't want to see it, but I could see it. Yeah. But a script from training camp, come on, man. It's just not plausible. It's like, I mean, here's the other thing. Like, if we know anything about human behavior, it's that most people are really stupid and really unreliable. And how the hell can you predict league-wide behavior with a script for 17 weeks through plus playoffs? Like, that's unfathomable. Yeah. You have a hard time getting 10 people in a gym to play pickup. It's not what human behavior is. People don't function that way. People fly off the handle over nonsense, and that happens on sports teams. It happens in offices. It's ridiculous. We're going to have 500 fucking players follow a script that we're going to give you in early August.
I think people react to different ailments in different ways, and it's not. I think this is like CTE. I don't think it has to be everybody's out beating their wives and
God forbid
mass murdering.
What a loss that would be.
But this could be a version of that. You know what I mean?
Sure.
This could be a version. This guy is a little bit off his rockers, mixed in with he's already a little weird to begin with, and then when you function in the CTE factor as well. But this is it's so off base and unbelievable. Like you said, it's just like Or is he an attention whore? It could be one of those
combination, of course.
Yeah. Because
part of this is attention.
This is not his first wild statement.
Part of this is attention. If I'm looking at this is a guy who's been out of the league for a while.
Yeah.
I don't know what his finances are, but most people that played in that level, part of you likes attention.
Yeah.
To running back, a prominent position. There's an element of attention whore to this. My guess, too, is that he's probably a guy that is suffering from some level of CT symptomology. He's probably also a guy that has sort of indulged in conspiracy reading and conspiracy theories across a broad spectrum of things outside the NFL. And when you immerse yourself in something, you start to see things that you want to see, and you start to look at things that way. And I know, like, the sarcasm thing, but I can honestly say, he's probably on that podcast. He probably doesn't know too much about those guys. And if he kind of starts saying something a little off kilter and they're kind of going with it or giving him the space to roll with it, like, he'll probably just keep rolling.
Right.
Like, I honestly think if he started in that lane and they abruptly like called him out about it, he probably pivots to something else and keeps the conversation going in a different direction. Maybe he wants to attack a cat again or whatever, and that's what it is. But like it's that fundamental human behavior. Like if somebody's like you're saying something and they're responding, and if you think like little kids, like little kid does something and you laugh, they're gonna keep doing that thing.
Yeah.
Until they can't do it no more.
Exactly.
And that's just one of those things that I think is not uncommon. And part of that was that they're kind of indulging it for a little while, and he's rolling with it. And they're kind of, you're going to score 3 touchdowns in week 4, and like 2 weeks after a hamstring injury. Come on,
that's ridiculous.
Yeah,
man.
Just stupid stuff like that.
We have one more thing that has gone viral here, but before we get to that, really quick here, I want to give a quick shout out to Derby. Derby is, preparing taxes and things like that for Royal Financial Consulting. That entire company does really great work. You can see here $7,000 in cash advance. They do income tax, credit repair, real estate, notary public, all of that great stuff. So look up Royal Financial Consulting and ask for Derby, and
so she'll do your taxes and potentially arrange for a cash advance of your return.
Yes.
Okay.
There you go. Along with other things, get your credit together. Look into real estate.
So if you are a financial train wreck, please call Derby.
There you go.
She'll get you back on the track.
Couldn't have said it any better.
Maybe you could have talked to her about on the train. That might not be the only train she can get back on track.
Once again, you guys are on the Bitch podcast, Bubba Big. Now, I want to see. Did you get a whiff of this here, man? This is a coach, JV coaching.
I did see this.
Yeah. This morning, scandal on the court in Virginia in this junior varsity girls basketball game with a coach posing as a player.
The biggest thing that we heard that we felt disappointment.
The player in the black jersey wearing number 1 with the slick moves, scoring baskets, and high-fiving other players was no player at all. She's Arlisha Boykins, a member of the Churchland Truckers coaching staff. Boykins suiting up and playing as if she were a student in a weekend game against the Nansemond River Warriors last month.
When adults commit to being a coach, they take on a lot of responsibility. Adults who fail to live up to those expectations fail our students.
Portsmouth Public Schools District says the game was held at Nansemond River and no Churchland administrators were there, saying they immediately investigated when it was reported. The fallout leading players on both the junior varsity and varsity girls teams to call it quits. The district says players from both teams expressed they did not want to continue this season. The team's remaining opponents and officials have been notified. As for the coach, the district says Arlisha Boykins is no longer an employee. Her last day of work was January 25th. The head coach for the junior varsity team was also fired. The executive director for the Virginia High School League says this is the second time in his 7-year tenure that a coach has impersonated a player, but there are no plans to change any regulations or procedures. Lionel Moyes, ABC News, New York.
That's such a weird story on a couple fronts, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I saw you say what? Because the players agreeing to.
Couple like okay. So I didn't realize it was women's basketball.
Yeah,
thought it was boys when I first saw the story. I didn't like watch it like that.
Right.
So that was interesting, but okay, it's super weird that this happens. Like what is? Did the team only have 4 players? Like, and the coach was just suiting up to have a game, or was the coach like this bizarre that like they get joy and pride out of playing in a JV game? I mean, but seriously, what is your motivation for doing that?
I have no idea.
Like, and that's what I can't imagine. Like,
I need to hear it from her.
I mean, if it was some weird thing where like I only had 4 healthy eligible players and either we don't play or I play, but then again, if you did that, you would probably, if you have any human decency, like play very chill, like be a facilitator, like whatever, not be having slick moves or whatever the hell the guy said.
Like, this is not varsity, this is JV girls basketball. Like, it
doesn't get any worse.
Yeah.
It literally doesn't get worse.
That's what I'm trying to
get
here.
I mean, let's be honest. It's horrific basketball.
Right.
Like, I watched, when I was at Oviedo, I watched the girls' JV practice. I mean, I didn't do that out of choice. Like, we were practicing next, and they were hogging up the floor. But they were running 5-on-0, which means there's 5 players running offensive set. There's no defenders whatsoever. And in 5-on-0, a JV girl goes down with a knee injury. Like, this is how bad a product you have. Like, who needs to watch this?
What if you have Joanna, man?
Then it becomes enjoyable.
It becomes enjoyable. Everybody now people are watching. It's on the news. It's trending.
It's crazy.
But
the most puzzling thing to me is both teams decide that they're not going to continue their seasons.
Like this was what? This was so. This was such so egregious, so sad, so bad that you're not going to continue the season.
Yeah.
This should be funny. It's fun. It's funny. Like,
I mean, it's just stupid. Okay,
like
coach.
she didn't go out there and elbow a bunch of folks.
Yeah, you give the forfeit and move on. It's like, what the hell, man? This is ridiculous.
Chris and Carver's laughing at you, JB.
We're gonna cancel the season. Like, dude, if I was a parent and my daughter was on that team, I would be furious. I would. Like, we're playing.
Quitting what?
Bring your damn coach out there. We'll beat you too. Coach can't play.
Lord knows they need to keep playing to get better.
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy.
And it's also interesting that this can only happen in women's basketball. Like, there are no.
What you mean?
Huh?
What you mean?
Like a coach or an older person or whatever suiting up to play for that. Like that. Like a woman. I mean, a man cannot play JV's boys basketball without like while the teams are being introduced, like they're gonna know like that's
just from but older people have like snuck in and played varsity basketball on the men's side. It's happened.
Yeah,
There's a scandal. Actually, historically, Windsor Park High School, with Stamp and Cabbage back in the 70s.
Yeah, but
there was a team out of Miami that
slightly
they were
older,
on 20, 21 years old.
Yeah, I'm talking about coaches. Like, that's what I'm talking about.
But this coach was 22 years old.
Oh, that's what they said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, and a JV guy still get it. I'm saying it's weird, but
yeah.
But I mean, it's not unprecedented on the men's side.
No.
And particularly if you have a coach that again, 21, 22 years old, like, if you have a coach who's 40 and he's half bald and like, oh hey, there's something wrong with that guy.
Yeah.
No, it's early pattern baldness. He's actually 14. His mom drove him to the game.
Right.
But yeah, so I don't know, but yeah, it's just super bizarre. Like, you just wonder, like, what were you thinking?
What's her motive? Like, they have to track this woman down. If some kind of way she catches wind to this clip, comment, please call it. We need you to call in.
Explain what you were doing.
I really would like to know
what was going on there.
Did you see Chandler Parsons' comment to LeBron's reaction to the non-call?
Yeah, he could watch his puppy die in the road and react less.
people were going crazy because you can't go throwing out dying puppies.
People went crazy. I didn't even notice.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
People going hard on.
I thought it was funny. I mean, Chandler is a funny guy.
He's an entertaining guy.
Like I've been around him a little bit, and he's funny. Like legitimately funny. So yeah, but I mean, you're not going to be funny without offending somebody. But I mean, the point he made was good. I mean, for real. I mean, it was a bad miscall, no doubt about it. I got him being really agitated though. But honestly, when I was watching the video and he went to his knees, that just pushed it to another level. I'm like, dude.
Oh no, I understood all of it because it's not about that game. It's about like literally. There's been about 5 calls, and after every last single game, the referees come out. Oh yeah, we fucked.
Yeah. No, I get it.
So it's not like it's questionable calls and LeBron and then the Lakers, were wrong and that it wasn't a call. It's like they're a struggling team. They need every win, and then in 5 games, the referees literally made a bad call and acknowledged wrongdoing.
Yeah.
And then after that game, it's like, oh, we're not gonna be able to sleep tonight. And
I mean,
fuck you, man.
I'm not saying it wasn't warranted, and maybe credit to him for not just hitting the guy.
Lord knows.
Maybe he felt the only way I'm not going to hit this guy is if I just go to the ground, get on my knees and whatever. But it was just so funny though, like watching it happen. I mean, it was kind of like remember when Minnesota made the playoffs last year and like dudes were crying like they won the championship.
That was hilarious.
It's funny, but you kind of get why they might have been doing that.
Yeah,
but it's still funny.
It's
we got to
still
be able to
funny.
laugh at it.
It's still funny.
Yeah, but LeBron went to the ground and then he put his head to the ground. I lost it. That was just so funny.
Yeah. So and then Will puts up the post about the referee being an avid Celtics fan.
Yeah, and apparently the Celtics are like 36-2 in games that he refs. And they had a picture of like his family and his kids are like Celtics jerseys and paraphernalia. Like, hey. The problem,
Juan thinks that's just a coincidence, which it could be.
It may well be,
yeah.
But honestly, I think it's one of those things where he might be suspended or he may be forever taken off Celtics games.
That they're definitely going to review. Now they're going to go back to
it just wasn't like when you had that picture and the way it's presented and that record is 36-2 is eye popping.
Yeah.
Like from a league perspective, you're better just not putting yourself in that position.
It really is.
And
especially when he's the one with the call, he's literally right there.
Yeah, he's the guy that would.
And the viewpoint is like his eyes is looking directly at the.
Yeah, there's like nothing. There's nothing to excuse him
unless you're he
had a great angle. Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah,
but
he was in the right position. He had a great angle. The foul was like favorable to where he was positioned. Yeah, there's no excuse not to make the call, and I honestly think you just kind of move off from having him in all of a sudden.
I think that's
because the other thing now, again, since it's out there, like everyone in the league takes notice, and hey, we got the Celtics tonight, and homeboy walks through to be one of the officials. Like, come on, man, it's you really do potentially harm the integrity of the game. Really, I mean, even if there's not 100% substance to it, the appearance of it is enough to just say why don't put ourselves in this position.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all it is. It's the appearance for sure. All righty then. Well, as we always do to end the show, just some quick current NBA things really quick. The Magic actually beat the 76ers last game, but Philly got them back tonight.
This one was back-to-back?
Yeah, back-to-back.
I don't like those.
That's weird, but they're doing it to help travel and all of that.
Yeah.
The Warriors and Timberwolves are headed into overtime.
Nice.
Yeah, so Austin is playing tonight. He's 2 for 3 from the 3-point line. He has 10 4 and 4 with a steal and a block.
That's a good game for him.
We got Portland beating the Grizzlies tonight. Dame went off for 40 and 10. He had 50 a night. Or what was that, 50 or 60 a week or two ago?
Yeah, a week or two ago.
Shout out to Simons with 26. They're trying to figure out. They actually offered Jeremy Grant a max extension.
Yeah,
and he can earn more if he goes into free agency. So he hasn't accepted. They don't think he's going to accept it.
Okay.
But for their sake, they do need him to accept it just for financial terms there.
Yeah.
Celtics rout the Nets. The Nets are dealing with a lot of injuries with KD out and whatever you make of Ben.
It's kind of like Kyrie holding it down.
He's holding it down, and he had a modest 20-4. If he doesn't go nuclear, they probably don't have the chance.
Yeah.
And what else is notable here? Kings are an interesting team. They beat the lowly Spurs, but the Kings, man, they're one of those teams where I think we briefly talked about them before.
Yeah.
I think it was off air though, and they have this interesting young fun team. They're top 3 or top 4 in the West. Nobody's going to believe in them, but this is a season that they can use, like you said. They can use.
It's a stepping stone.
Yeah, it's a stepping stone.
It's critical to get into the playoffs and to compete well in the playoffs. Whether you lose a first-round series or not, don't go out like a bunch of chumps, and then you've got something to build on. And like really, the way the NBA is operated is people don't come from outside the playoffs to the finals. It just doesn't work that way. Except I guess like the Warriors getting everybody back, but beyond that, like the typical thing is like you get into the playoffs, you grind, you earn your stripes, and you finally break through.
And I also think they really do need like a prominent 3-and-D player. Right now they have Harrison Barnes in that place, and he's not terrible or anything, but you just need to upgrade in that position there, I think, because Darren Fox is really good for them, has been good for them this year. He's taken a step up. Sabonis has been awesome.
Sabonis is like death and taxes. I mean, he just consistently delivers what he does, and he's a player I wish that that the Magic had their hands on and let him go. But I really think that was a poor move at the time because that guy was a young player that was going to really grow into a consistent performer, which he's done.
Yeah. So that'll do it. You got Kobe saying that Curry missed the last shot to win the game.
In regulation or
in regulation,
at the end of overtime?
They're going to overtime.
So
then Grizzlies lost it down the stretch, yeah.
There you go.
All righty then.
I appreciate all you guys contributing to the show with comments and thoughts, and we enjoy engaging with the public.
Always, man.
With the unwashed masses.
Definitely appreciate you guys, man. We'll be back next week.
Yes, we will.
On the bench.